you guys, this is Mutant Talk. So today I'm going to be talking about mutants and what they are and why are they so, feared. So, back in the day, 1600 BC, Apocalypse was born. So basically I'm just breaking down the X-Men trilogy, by the way, you guys, just to let you know. So this might be a little long video, so hang in there, sit tight, tuck into a blanket, whatever, and enjoy the black screaming in my voice. So basically, this takes place when Apocalypse takes place 1600 BC. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Haha, very funny. Joke of the day. Just kidding. But anyway, X-Men Apocalypse basically explains how Apocalypse was born, and he gets born into new bodies. In 1600 BC, he got trapped inside of rocks or something like that, and then nobody knows who the heck he is by then. And when he's reborn, he's like, why the heck are nobody worshipping me? Why is everybody scared of me? And so he finds his 4 children: Storm, Magneto, can't pronounce one, and Angel. Angel was first introduced in Last Stand. If you guys don't remember Last Stand, I will explain that movie in just a bit. But yeah. So that's all for X-Men Apocalypse until I get to the movie. But first I'm gonna explain the first X-Men. So I'm gonna break down not in order. So let's get down to this. So it first shows Wolverine and Rogue together. Wolverine found Rogue, saved her life, and tried to dump her in a snowy area. What sense does that make? Well, turns out Wolverine cared about her a little bit at the time, but then once he started getting to know her a little bit and about her life, he started caring about her more, because he found out how much he related to Rogue. This was in the comics as well. If you guys didn't read the comics, you'll figure out how Rogue got along with all the X-Men. It will tell a backstory. I have X-Men Blue in comics, and they explain a little bit about how the X-Men reunited and stuff like that. This is kind of what the older X-Men movies takes place, is how they reunite and stuff like that, how they become an X-Men again, X-Men again. So, the second one's basically the same thing, but this time William Stryker kidnaps Charles, Magneto, who I'll explain in a minute, and Cyclops, who I will explain also in a minute. So let me real quick, before I get started with the second one, let me real quick explain the mutants that I will be bringing up a lot. Cyclops, aka Scott Summers, he loved Jean, and he fell in love with Jean before Jean fell in love with Logan, which broke Scott's hearts in the comics. If you guys want to read the comics, go ahead. But in the X-Men movies, she fell in love with Logan in Last Stand. Logan, he's the Wolverine. He will be brought up in the very minimum. I will bring him up. I will explain about him some of the time. He will be brought up in Apocalypse most of the time, and a little bit about the animated series, which I'll bring up later. Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, whoever you want to remember, Phoenix, whoever you want to call her. She's one of my favorites. I will bring her up a lot too. Cyclops is also one of my favorites. Charles, I will be bringing him up a lot because I'm first class. I have to explain a lot about him. And Magneto, I'll be bringing up a lot, and Storm. I don't know much about Mystique, Beast, or Quicksilver. That's the only people I'm not gonna be bringing up a lot. Or Nightcrawler. I forgot about him. Sorry, you guys. Poor Nightcrawler. Poor Kurt. Anyway, so this is basically just my breakdown of the X-Men that I know of. I don't know if there's really any other ones. X-23 is Laura, and she's not really brought up in the movies. She's only brought up in Logan, which I'll probably explain in another video of the Wolverine trilogy. And Gambit I'll be bringing up for the animated series. So let me go back to talking about X2. I'm sorry, you guys, I forgot all about that. X2 is kind of a movie that it's different. It has Lady Deathstrike in it. Lady Deathstrike is a girl with those long claw fingernails that nearly killed Scott. Yes, she was trying to kill Scott when she put the thing in his neck, but it did not work. It ended up knocking him unconscious and turning him evil, which Jean snapped him out of it because he broke her leg on accident. He didn't mean to. He even admitted to Jean, I'm sorry, I couldn't control it. And Jean forgave him, and it's like, I love you so much. And that's how they reunited. And Jean ended up dying in that. So if you guys don't realize that Jean is not technically back in Last Standing, it's Dark Phoenix that took over her body. It's not the Jean we all know. It's Dark Phoenix Jean. It's not, guys. Guys, you need to watch Last Standing. If you don't know, Jean, she dies and then she comes back. Dies and comes back. Dies and comes back. Jean's like that type of girl. Phoenix, like, picture the Phoenix bird. The Phoenix bird falls and then it comes back. That's basically what a phoenix is. It burns into ashes and then it comes back. That's what Jean Grey is. Jean Grey is Phoenix. So Jean Grey is basically one of those girls that are like, well, she's not so needy in the movies, but in the comics, in the animated series, she's like, Scott, help me, or Logan, help me, or Gambit, help me. Oh, somebody's texting me. Sorry, you guys. Anyway, and like, yeah, so after all of that happens, basically a lot of things like happen, and it's like a big bang. And yeah, I'll make a part 2 of this because I have to wrap up. So here's the part 1 of the future of the X-Men. That's what this video is going to be called. I'm just kidding, it's just going to be called part 1 of 2. And I'll make my part 2 a little longer. Okay, so I'll comment down below who's your favorite X-Men. And tell me if I'm missing anything about the X-Men and whatever X-Men I'm missing, because I would like to know. And tell me what you want to hear next in part 2. Without further ado, this is Black Widow and this is my channel.